This week on the Mining Your Business podcast, we are back, refreshed, recharged, and more focused than ever. We shift from quantity to quality and refine our mission. Welcome to the Mining Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with everybody's favorite host. Oh my gosh. Wow,
Me.
we're out of practice, or I'm out of practice. Co-host.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. Aaron Jarrells. So thank you very much for that glowing introduction and greeting. Hey,
catch us up. What's been going on? People don't know that you and I actually met. We took a week off, and we actually met in St. Louis, and got us and the wives together. And I wanted to tell you,
before or after the tornado?
That was the day after the big tornado. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys were actually there for the tornado, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was in a hotel. It was shaking. I was on the 13th floor. So I thought, this is when I die. And
I'm surprised you didn't get out there with your phone,
no.
I've been wanting to tell you for the last 2 weeks. We had a conversation about IKEA, right? And you guys were talking about the drawers at IKEA, how like they didn't open as far as they used to. It's like a safety thing, and it was driving you crazy. So we went to IKEA after we left.
Yes.
I just, for our own satisfaction, we literally opened every drawer in IKEA, testing them and seeing which ones opened deeper, which ones were shallow. And some of those were absolutely frustrating. So anyway,
I know the drawer's this deep and it opens this much.
Yes.
Like you can
I can get my sock out, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Catch us up. What's been going on?
First things first. So apologize for anybody that's not watching the video feed. Bam, dude, I'm loving the setup you got going on. So you're obviously in your new office. I like your light stand in the back.
We have my signed guitar from Stone Temple Pilots, my signed record LP from Stone Temple Pilots, the Purple album, my PV Classic 50, which is a custom job from a friend of mine. Those basically just collect dust because I rarely play guitar anymore. And then over here on the right side, we have Bear. If people haven't seen Bear before, Bear is our schnauzer, and he is usually off in the distance, but today he's joining us. So
front and center. You're a little
scratching or
one side. So it looks good.
Yeah. It's got a long way to go, but it's better than it's at least it's a work in progress, you know.
For sure. And anybody that's watching along, you can see that mine is starting to unravel. Fall apart. So I will be redoing it here eventually. I got some you can see the see if I can get my hand to work on the camera.
I see a paint can. Yeah.
Paint can. That's for the new color.
Okay.
It's gonna look I am hoping really good. And I'm gonna be bringing it's a plant tank right now because I think there's no alive fish in it. But I'm going to be bringing my son's little fish tank down and staging it and setting it up a little bit different. I've got a different look. I'm going to try and set up. That's just a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxing.
I was hoping you were going to say like with the beer sign in the background, you know, like
no. Well, see, I use this setup for my virtual therapy, so I've got to sort of keep that in mind. But I also use the bar stool, and I've got you can't see it, the teleprompter camera on a monopod actually, stand set up to where I can quickly and easily record my videos, which brings me to my first update. And that is on my YouTube channel. I am switching up what I'm doing. Now, I think I've kind of alluded to and let people know, like, although he's doing an incredible job, my directioner, Shri over at EVF, I can't afford to continue having him do my videos. And with the target audience that I'm going after, it appears to make more sense as I'm getting much more traction from my lesser edited, lesser produced videos.
Interesting.
So with my ideal audience, it seems to resonate better with a rawer, more off the cuff, just I'm going to record myself kind of video.
Okay.
So with that in mind, it doesn't make sense to continue to pay for something I don't necessarily need at this point for this channel.
Well, you're so good at those off the cuff videos anyway. I actually think you're probably more comfortable doing that than you are following a script.
Yeah, I am. I really don't like to do the other thing. It used to drive me crazy. And he would tell me, like, no, get on. And then halfway through, you have to mention this. And then part of the way through, you mention that. And then you have to say, hey, be sure to like and subscribe. I just felt so blech
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
that I had to do so many takes that they would clip little bits and pieces. They had to add so much B roll in between because there was so many cuts. I would sometimes cut 2 times in one sentence.
Yeah.
It would be three
Yeah.
videos for one sentence.
Yeah.
Three different. So
I
anyway, but rough.
I understand. I
So
worked on
I'm
some videos a
changing
few weeks
that up.
ago, and it's the same kind of thing where it's like,
Yeah. So
"Can
I'm
you just get through
switching.
this sentence without screwing up, please?"
Oh my God. Yeah. And then I find myself the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time I'm doing it, I'm yelling at the camera. And I'm like,
Why do I look
"Oh,
so
I can't
angry?
splice that in." It gets very frustrating. So anyway, I'm taking a different direction, a different route
Okay.
with that. But I have some interesting updates with that. Number one, I just put out a video the other day, and as you know, I've been trying to run some ads and some trying to teach the algorithm who my audience is, like who to
Right.
put my videos in front of. And I know we talked about, oh, you don't need 100,000 people, you need 100 of the right people, not
Right.
100,000 that aren't interested.
Right.
And in that down that avenue, I posted a video that shows it's got a couple hundred views, but for different reasons. I actually only had 4 views on it as it was posted publicly because it was the video I was using as my ad. So I had it unlisted. So I've got a couple hundred
Okay.
views on it. But I think what it did is when I put it and I ran those ads, and I only ran them for like 5, 6 days or whatever, it was like $30. And I ran that, it found the audience for that video so that when I stopped running ads on it and then I made it go public, it ran it to 4 people.
Okay.
That should be very disappointing.
I was gonna say that's a very different. That's a little lower than I would have expected.
Yes. However, the 4 people, 25% of the people, which is one,
One.
messaged me, hey,
Okay.
man, what are the chances like that your video would pop up on my feed exactly when I need to see it?
Wow.
Thanks for the help, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like you explained what I'm going through right now.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my gosh, the algorithm's finally figuring out. I would much rather it show it to 4 people and one person message me. It message me telling me I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about, or message me and say, dude, this was exactly what I needed to see. But give me some feedback. Like put the video in front of someone who's going to interact with it, who's
Right.
where it matters to them enough to reach out to me.
Right.
And so it is funny because I've got multiple videos that went out to hundreds of people, even thousands, 1,000 people, and I've get 3, 4 likes and no comments, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's fine, I
Right.
suppose. But I
Right.
don't know because I don't know anything.
You're not getting
Versus
real
the
feedback.
last few videos I put out, I've got 26 views on another video, and I got 2 comments on that from 2 different people. And I'm like, that's what it's for. It's not for
Right.
just getting out there and being viewed by a bunch of people that are like, okay, and swipe over. I want it to hit people where they go, man, I that's what I needed to see, or man, I wanted to see this, but I don't agree with this.
Right.
Great, man. Let me know, like what, but something more.
Yeah.
And the second thing that my channel's done for me this last, which gave me a little bit of inspiration to keep the channel going, because I was getting
Okay.
to where I was like, what is the point? And so I have another point. There's 2 things that my channel appears to be doing for me. Is on my Psychology Today, I post who I am, what I do, what you can expect from me as a psychotherapist or a
So your
therapist.
Psychology Today listing.
Yes.
Okay.
And it says like click here to see a URL link to my website or my, so I just put my YouTube channel on there because I'm
Okay.
like, you want to see who I am, what I do in live or semi on recorded, click there.
Yeah.
And I've had now 3 people. I ended up being able to take 2 on as clients, but 3 people in the last, I don't know, 3, 4 weeks who've said, I saw your Psychology Today. I watched a few of your YouTube videos, and you seem like the person I want to talk to.
Man, that's
Like,
great.
just seeing your videos showed me what you were going to be like, and that you are who I want to talk to. And I'm like, man, that's what it's for. So using it not as the lead, the top of the funnel,
Right, right.
it's more
Y
like the bottom where it's a
I was gonna say,
qualifier.
it's more like the lead is nurturing because you're nurturing them automatically, right? It's
Right.
almost like having an email sequence that's automated, a drip sequence, whatever, but it's
Yeah.
happening in your videos automatically while you're asleep, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and they get to see and hear me talk, and they
Yeah,
go, "Yes, this is somebody I wanna listen to," or "No, thank you." Perfect. I
and
whatever. Like,
like, you there have to be people too that have clicked on that and they said, "Nope, this is not the person I," and, like, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. Think of the, like, time it saved you to not have to
yes,
filter them out,
I'll be honest with you, by the time most people come in and we do the initial interview, there and I'm like, "Listen, if I'm rubbing you the wrong way, if I remind you of your uncle that you don't like, or a cousin that you hate,
Right.
or somebody from your, class or work or whatever, and we just don't get along," and they're like, "No, no, no, I already knew from watching your videos."
Yeah,
Like, that tells me that this is working because now, where it used to be one in, I don't know, 1 in 10, 1 in 12 would show up the first time, and I would say, if this doesn't work for you, I'll help you find somebody. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. It's fine. Let me
right,
help you find somebody. But now we're heading that off at the past. They watch my videos and they go, no. And they move on before wasting their time
right.
coming in and talking to
You're
me.
automatically qualifying those leads.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
mean, that's cool because really, like, I almost feel like more more therapists should be doing that. And we do have a little intro video, but it can't be more than exactly 30 seconds on Psychology Today. And I'm like,
right.
people need to see more than that
Yeah, yeah,
to get a feel for who you are, what you the way you do it. And so
yeah.
anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where my YouTube channel is. That's where that's going.
I
And
think
that's
that's a
what I'm
great success story. One, you're getting it's not about quantity now. You're shifting your focus and you're thinking about quality, right? So,
right.
yeah, you're not reaching 1,200 people, with this
Right.
video in 2 hours kind of thing, but you
Right.
are getting a response, right? You're
Yes.
starting a conversation, which I think that's something we both
Yes.
really value.
Yes, and it's strange because I went into this with the idea that I wanted to be a content creator.
Right.
That's why I started the YouTube channel. Now that dream hasn't changed. I still think I would very much enjoy doing that. But the
Right.
content that I want to create, as many of you know, that I took that channel and I started it doing what I'm doing. And then I was like, "Ugh, I want to do this," and tried to transition it into the more cinematic movie-ish
Right.
type of things. And then I realized that's not what this channel is supposed to be. I had to bring it back and I'm
Right.
focusing on what it's supposed to be. This really isn't that.
Right.
I
But
am still in the process of putting together that, which I think the lessons I've learned from this channel are going to help me with the other one.
absolutely.
But the other one is a completely different thing for a completely different purpose. It's
Right.
more of a passion project, something that's going to be fun. And then it's like, how do I get it in front of the people that would be interested in viewing that passion come to life?
Right.
Well, now I know how to do that and how to target them and understand that they may not find my, let's call it a show. They may not find my show until season 3, season 4, season
Right.
5. And realistically, that's okay
Mhm.
because all I want to be able to do is interact with people who enjoy watching it. I only need 3 viewers.
Right.
I
Right.
don't need 300,000. I need 3 to just join me in the journey of what I'm making and have them be interested in it. If
Right.
it grows bigger than that, super. If it doesn't, super. Who cares? Like,
Right, but it's something you're gonna enjoy doing.
yeah,
So because you enjoy doing it, it's not a matter of like, okay, we have to hit these key metrics right here. We have to hit,
right,
this many views. We're trying to monetize, blah, blah,
right.
blah. Like,
Don't
I mean,
care.
that's great if you do it. And I think you should still be intentional about trying to do it, right? But
Sure.
at the same time, when your whole and sole focus is on just trying to get monetized, just trying to get ad dollars, You have
Right.
to play the game. You have to
Yes.
create the content that's trending. You have to
Right.
do all
So
the
for
things.
so for me, instead of the way I did it with my other channel, which was how quickly can we get to monetization? Now I'm going to say how how much time and how much effort and whatever is it going to take to get enough content that it makes sense to monetize?
Right. Right.
Because I don't want to run ads if it's going to slow viewership growth until I have, 10, 15, 20, 100,000. I don't know. Really
Yeah.
going to depend how many subscribers, how many people want to watch the show for it to make sense to run ads.
Well, and if you're, looking at just like some of the different YouTube models, right? If you do part of it where it's just free to watch, like almost like trailers, teaser episodes, and then you start getting into the nitty gritty of the story, and the last couple episodes are behind a kind of a paywall or membership subscription or whatever it is,
Sure.
then you can support
So
you can
here's
support
what
all you're
I'm
doing with just a handful of
here was
people.
I don't want to give away too much, but here was my business model that I want to follow on that
Okay.
because I love to get meta, right? Is I want to make the episodes and post them all for free. I want to
Okay.
put them out on the channel. All of the episodes will be out there. And then if you join the membership, then you get access to all the bloopers behind the scenes, the filming, the making, the brainstorming of coming up with
Yeah.
episode ideas, like all of the stuff that's genuinely me behind the camera.
Just as a way for people to support you and then get extra
If
content.
they're
Yeah,
interested at
I
all
like
being
that.
like, oh, dude, I want to support this guy, then they can watch me in the creative process
Yeah.
as
That's a
well
lot
and be
less
like,
manipulative too.
yeah,
You know?
right.
Um, that's great. I mean, I love the shift because you're taking what you've done, right? And now you get to see the success in, again, qualifying leads and all that. But
Right.
you're not looking at that stuff and going, well, this was a failure. No, not at all. Like you learned, you know how you want to
Yes.
build this other thing, which is a passion project. You get to
Right.
keep doing what you are doing and do it for a different reason, which is going to
Right.
support your
Y-
livelihood, right?
Yes.
And nothing is wasted. That's something that I've
Right.
figured out
Y-
like throughout the years. All the different experiences, they all give you context for the next thing, you know?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, if it panned out and it got big and Netflix came and said, "Hey, we want to," I would absolutely do it. It's not
Sure.
just no, this has got to be pure art. Like I'm not
Right,
saying that.
right, right.
But at the same time, like I'm not going to try and be like this is my one thing. This is my what is it? Why is my brain farting right now? But this is my opus, right? Like this
Right,
is my
right,
thing. This is
right.
what defines me. It's not like it's just one more thing, and if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, it is.
Yeah,
It is. Now, speaking of which, we've been talking, and I'm going to let you talk about your stuff, but let's
sure,
transition to our stuff. Then we'll go to your stuff, if
sure.
that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we've talked a bit about the after hour stuff
Yeah,
and about my old I say I started it, but then we did something with it, and
yeah,
then it
yeah.
became then it's back to mine because we broke
Well,
off and did
for
minding your
people that
business.
don't know, like, talk about that. Like, this
So
this
yeah,
podcast was actually born out of another podcast.
out of that other podcast, which was the Grow an Online Business podcast. I started it years and years ago, thinking I'm going to do it every week. I'm going to post and I'm going to try to grow an online business, and I'm going to document the successes and the failures along the way.
Yeah,
And I did that. I documented my journey up and down and my ins and outs and my cycle my struggles and
right.
so forth. And then I thought, you know what, this was fun, but also like let's do something different. So season 2 turned into something else. Season 3 was you and I like
Yeah,
interviewing,
I was a
talking about
guest
our
on your
businesses
podcast.
and
Yeah.
doing stuff. And then season 4 was I don't remember it,
Well,
but it
season
kept
4 was
molding.
supposed to be this,
It
right?
was season 4 was supposed to be, which I think at the time it was build your own business,
Yeah, build your online
BYOB,
business. Yeah,
and then from that was born minding your business, and it was going to be more of an interview thing, and then it was like we did that for a while, and then at any rate, I think I want to convert it was your idea to take, because I was like, something's got to, we got to do something with the growing online business. There's still some audience there, and I don't want it to die, but at the same time, I don't have enough time and energy to devote to it.
Right.
But if we take the stuff we're already doing, which was, I think, the Patreon, we ended up putting the after hours on Patreon. Super. I think now giving it an outlet, putting it on the growing online business,
Yeah.
minding your business after hours, make that its own new podcast now.
Yeah. Keep
Then
calling
people
it
will have a
growing
place
online business. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. But like literally what we're doing in after hours is the actual like step by
growing of the
step
business.
tactical things of growing our
Yes.
different businesses, right? So
The
it
nitty
makes a lot
gritty,
of
what we're
sense.
actually doing during that process. They
Yeah.
can
And
follow
then
along and then,
are
yeah.
you doing with growing online business, are you doing video?
Yeah.
Okay,
This
perfect.
season.
Okay.
This season
So
I did it in video.
this
I
is a
did, but
perfect
the video is
transition.
just
You're
me
already doing
talking
video.
directly into the microphone. Like, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. So it wouldn't be any difference other than now there would just be more microphone, more cameras.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are streaming it yet. So
Well,
hop on
this would
over
give them
there
a
and,
reason to
yeah,
because
I'm like, hop on over there and check it out if you're interested. I think the next episode will be that. And it was basically just me yammering on for however long I did. Zero editing. I did nothing. I didn't even put any. I think I said, welcome to growing online business. And then I just talked. I tried to do some hooks. Anyway, I was all over the place with that thing. But either
but
way,
you
I
did
feel
it.
like this is the next transition. This
Yeah.
is the next iteration, and it makes sense to go there with it.
Yeah. So
So,
then
with that in mind,
yeah.
that's going to mean we're going to be more focused on helping people mind their business in this podcast,
Yes.
with less of us just yakking about our businesses. That'll
Right.
mostly shift over to the growing online business portion, the nitty gritty nuts and bolts. What are we doing kind of thing.
Right.
So, in this one, we're going to be doing more of the fundamentals of the business and personal growth,
Yes.
like targeting.
Yeah. So
Unless I
let's go
misunderstood.
through some of the stuff
We've
we have
got
written
some
down.
new, yeah, we've got some new ideas for the podcast.
Yeah. So here we go. So I'm in this process going through all the businesses and actually I'm going through the same things through all the businesses. I'm basically taking I've come up with a about a year long curriculum. It's like
Okay.
24 session curriculum and
Okay.
I'm going through each of the businesses and doing those things, right? So you're going to
And
see
now
some
you
things
said this 24-month curriculum. This is the curriculum you've come up with for your
for my coaching business.
business coaching. Okay.
Yes, yes. So um that's basically like kind of my shift is kind of going towards that's my main thing.
Okay.
And so because that's what I'm doing for all the different businesses. I, I typically have a business partner and I'm just in the business development and admin side of things.
Right.
And I'm not doing the actual technical nitty gritty work. If I am, then I'm doing it. I shouldn't be at this point. I shouldn't be, you know? So
Right.
like, anyway, so this is one of the things that I've done in the last, few weeks, but mission statement. It's really funny, man. I've been in business since 2000. Let's see, when did I actually start freelancing? I think I started freelancing in 2003. But I
Okay.
actually officially opened a business in 2004.
Okay.
And until 2 weeks ago, I'd never written a mission statement
For yourself. You've
for
helped
myself. Right. Right.
untold numbers of other people do
Yes,
it. You
exactly.
never
Well,
had
because
one
that's
for
not
yourself.
really been my focus. My focus has been more on the marketing side of things. It's like, well, we can write some
Right.
a fancy mission or vision statement for your website and blah blah blah.
Right.
But one of the things that like my beliefs about what it should be is it should be something that's actionable, right?
Right.
It's almost like setting a goal and this is your public goal. You're telling the world like this is what we're going to accomplish and this is the journey if you want to come with us, like
Huh?
here's our mission, right?
Yes.
And so the format basically is like we're going to do X by Y. So we have something measurable and then a deadline and
Yep.
then here's why. So
Yes.
measurable, deadline, reason. And that reason,
Yes.
if it has some kind of injustice associated with it, even better, right? Because you're wanting to rally the troops. And
Right.
so this is our minding your business
Rally.
mission statement, right? So
Yes.
we will. reach an average of 5,000 listeners per episode by the end of 2026 because hardworking entrepreneurs deserve to be encouraged and inspired to keep pushing towards their dreams. And I feel very strongly about that. So,
Okay.
um,
I have to concur on that one.
yeah. So, like, why do I say hardworking entrepreneurs deserve to be encouraged and inspired to keep pushing toward their dreams? For the same reason that you even said it earlier, like, I was almost ready to give up with the YouTube channel. Like, I keep grinding and grinding. Like, that to
Right.
me is a travesty, right? So, if you were just, and I don't want to take anything away from you here, but if you were just doing this on your own
Yep.
and you were an island and we weren't meeting and we weren't
Right.
talking through the ideas,
Right.
do you think you would have given up?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think that
No,
we
for
all need
sure.
to be
Absolutely. Yes.
surrounded by people that encourage us, right? And
Right.
so that's the idea. Like I don't want to blow smoke up, whatever. I don't want to blow smoke.
Right.
But I want to encourage you, inspire you, and come alongside you and help build something with you, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of the idea. So that's our mission statement. And here are some just things, some characteristics we're going to need in the episodes. The
Yes.
not format necessarily, but
No.
some themes, right?
Yes.
We need
Yes.
to
And
be
I think we
encouraged.
need to be slightly more focused.
Yes. Well, obviously,
Obviously,
we need to
we
be a little
tend to
more
know.
intentional with
Yes.
but like, look, for a long time, we knew where we wanted to go, but it was really hard because we couldn't get people. We wanted to interview people, right?
Right.
But we couldn't get people to just nail down and give us a date when we could record. I think
Right.
we've worked past a lot of that stuff, and we actually have a list of people that want to be on the podcast and want to be interviewed, and it's just like, tell me when. So
Okay.
that actually, I think, will become the after hours show,
Ooh, I
right?
kinda yes.
That kind of makes sense.
Yes,
So
yes,
that
because
we
then
can
we're
keep
talking
this
about what we're
format.
doing, bringing in other people about what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for
So
sure.
some things that what we have to do in minding your business in the podcast to, I think, reach this goal, right? To
Yes.
accomplish our mission. So we need to be encouraging. We need to uplift and challenge entrepreneurs to believe in what's possible and keep pushing towards their dreams.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. Be insightful. We need to offer fresh perspectives and real world strategies to help listeners grow in mindset and in business, right?
Yep.
And so this is again where like you're bringing the mindset, I'm bringing the business, and we have a little bit of overlap.
Yep.
um Authentic. We need to be authentic. We need to speak honestly, not polish, and that's something that I think really changed once we started doing video. If people
Yes.
could go back and listen, they would probably hear me speak with a little more of an announcer voice, and that's
Yes.
something that I really didn't want to do. It just kind of happened naturally because I was speaking into a microphone. So speak
Right.
with honesty, not
Yes.
polish, sharing our experiences, questions, and lessons without pretending that we have it all figured out, right? A lot of
Yep.
this is figuring out things as we go, right? But the
Right.
whole thing is like we're inviting people on that journey with us, right?
Yes.
And then
Yep.
the big thing, this is really, you know, just kind of the cherry on top is being share worthy, right? We need to create moments that stick, ideas and insights people want to pass on because they resonate, entertain, and then challenge the norm. So
Right.
that's a lot of words. And I think it's really the DNA, the heart of what we are trying to do anyway. So
Yeah, I feel like those are lofty goals, but I feel like if that's the benchmark we're trying to hit with each episode, it gives us a challenge
right.
to stretch and to grow and to keep going. And so
Yeah.
let's try it for sure.
So for
I
me, the
know we've
mantra
got some.
becomes encourage and be encouraging, be insightful, be authentic, be share worthy. And I
Yeah,
can put that up on my wall. And before we start, I can just
we
remind myself,
go
right?
through those.
Yeah.
I am looking forward because I know we're not wanting to share too much about what's on the docket coming up for the future episodes, but man,
Sure.
I'll tell you what, I am becoming more and more excited about what we're going to be talking about
Yeah.
because there are some specific, intentional, targeted things that we're going to be covering that I think is going to benefit anyone that listens, not only professionally, but personally as well. Like it's
Yeah.
going to change their relationships and their communication with themselves and others in a manner that's going to propel them forward in
Yeah.
the next year and years to come,
Right.
just by simply shifting a few things and thinking about them from a different perspective. I'm so
Right.
excited. I haven't seen. You've hinted. You've told me a little bit about what your curriculum is, how you're using it to help people. Man, I'll tell you, if we just shared a portion of that with people, it's going to
Yeah.
benefit them immensely. And
That's it.
I too I understand that you can only see so many clients. Like what you're going to maybe be able to squeeze in 8 to 12 somewhere in that neighborhood
Yeah. Yeah.
clients per month anyway. So
I mean, I'm
this is
already
going to
at a point
benefit a
where
whole bunch more people.
my schedule is half full anyway already, right? And so,
Yeah.
and
And
starting in
two,
June,
I
I have
swear,
3 new
I
people.
love your idea of that you've created the map and you're like, I am willing to share this map on the podcast with everyone. Here's the map. Now, if you need help traversing the terrain, I'm here to help you join my thing. Like, let
Yeah.
me help
Yeah.
you personally.
And at the
I'll
same
help
time,
you
I'm not trying to
as
hard
a
sell anyone. Like, man, I think
right.
there's so much stuff that we're gonna be, and I can't like
I
let the cat out of the bag yet, but
no,
there's
no,
so
no,
much
no.
stuff
But
that's
I
gonna be
feel like too,
free.
like there are enough people in the world who can look at a map and go there.
Yeah.
That I feel like the momentum and the inertia that this is going to create in new entrepreneurs and businesses in the next decade.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm not saying we're going to be the harbingers or the art
No. But we can
whatever.
come alongside
We're
someone
not the
and
people doing it, but I
yeah.
just feel like as part of that, it's going to be exciting. And
Yeah.
it's like if we're able to help even one other person realize their dreams or make them get up one more time and try it,
Yeah.
then all of this is worth it.
You know what's great, man? Like, and this is where I find I think I've said this on like I just want to help. I want to give back, right? So that's been one of my like my key things. But I
Right.
now see where I can in a big, much bigger way than where I have been doing it. In a
Right.
more scalable way, right?
Right.
But I was talking with a guy that I know from years and years ago, and
Right.
we were just catching up this week, and I found out that he listened to the podcast. I'm like, that first of all, that weirds me out, right? Like, it's so funny. But he
Right.
was saying, yeah, something that you said, and he repeated it. He's like, it really helped me look at my situation and see it differently. And I'm like, I don't remember saying that. Right? But
Right.
at the end of the day, like, I was just ecstatic that he got something out of it, right?
Right.
And so I don't know, man. There's the one that I'm really excited about, like the thing that's coming up is like, I'll just tease it a little bit. The 30-day
Okay.
challenge. We talked a little bit about that.
Yes.
And that it's completely free to do. I'm going to give access. We'll talk about it on the podcast and stuff, but that alone, I think, will give people so much value, right?
Yes.
Right, and that's
Once
the
they
thing, like, you
commit
can
to
look at
themselves
yeah,
for
and
that
even
30
in
days, they've created habits now that are going to
exactly,
change.
and
Yeah.
even, like, accomplished entrepreneurs, people that have been in business for years. Again, I never sat down and forced myself to write my own mission statement,
Right.
but it's so important because now when I get to the computer and I'm like, "Ah, not necessarily feeling it today," I
Right.
can see that, I can force myself to read it, and I go, "Yep, that's my reason, that's why I'm here today." And
Right.
I have now a mission statement for each of the things. So I tend to compartmentalize my schedule,
Sure.
so rest of the week is Thursdays, Thursday afternoons and, the different
Right.
things. But that's a reminder before I get started on the work. Here's why I'm doing this. Here's what we're trying to
Right.
accomplish. So I don't know. It can't hurt.
Sure.
No,
Sorry.
I'm ecstatic. I think it's going to be amazing.
I had to grab that thought before I let it slip out of my mind. And I know the podcast probably not the best time to say it, but either way, I need another bag of the half calf.
Okay.
Get that on the
Wait.
plate.
Which
Okay.
half calf was it? Could you remind me of the name?
Yep. It's half
Half fast,
half,
half
half
calf,
fast. That's the one.
half
Yeah.
fast, half calf, half fast,
Yeah.
half.
That one. Yeah, I need another bag. So
Okay.
it's send an additional one.
Yep. Right.
Um,
Making the notes.
yeah. We had some guests over this weekend, some friends out from California, and I ended up making a whole bunch of extra cappuccinos and
Yeah.
espressos and um, lattes and spiced lattes. We just messed around with it, but I
Nice.
burned through an entire bag, and so now I'm like short again, and I'm like, dang it, I can't burn through a bag in 3 days. Like,
But
come
that's
on.
what happens when you have people over, right?
Yeah,
And it's
and when
because
they're
you
like,
like
"Oh my
serving
god,
people,
dude,
right?
you wanna make me another drink?" Dude, I've got this one where we're making it now where it's espresso with a squirt of agave
Okay.
and cinnamon, and then you pour the you press the espresso over that, then you steam oat milk, so you
Okay.
have a cinnamon oat milk agave latte.
Mm.
It's like eating a churro
Nice.
or drinking a churro.
Yeah.
Man, it is
So are you
stupid.
putting cinnamon on top, or are you pushing cinnamon through? Are you pushing
No,
water
no,
through
no.
the
I
cinnamon?
okay. So I've tried all of those. I find that it's best to squirt the agave in the bottom, sprinkle
Of the
a
portafilter?
of the cup,
Of the cup. Okay.
the cup that we're, and then you hit it and you allow the espresso to dissolve the agave, and as
Yeah.
it dissolves the agave, it almost all of the cinnamon like pours on top. But then when you pour the oat milk, you pour it in a swirl so
Okay.
it mixes it all in, and then it doesn't leave it. Um, it dissolves it more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's. But I have found that if you do it differently and you sprinkle it on top, then you're
It's
chewing
hitting your
it,
yeah.
and if
Yeah.
you put it into the steamed stuff, it's not as good. So that's the system we found that works. Anyway,
Nice.
sorry, I
I
don't
will
mean
have
to
to try
talk
that.
too much about that
No,
video,
like I
but
well, I mean, I don't know if anyone else enjoys it, but I enjoy talking about coffee. Um,
man, yeah.
so I want to bring you up to date on some looky stuff. So
Oh, yeah. It's been a bit
yeah,
since we.
so
So
reminder
what
of
are
what Looky is. Looky Social is the social media management company that we're
mhm,
starting. It's actually with Chris Pizar from last week's retro episode, from the archives.
okay,
Um, and basically, that was born the last year. We've kicked around the idea. We did a
okay,
lot of research, and we just kind of sat and we're like, I don't know if now's the right time.
okay.
We're still trying to get niche sites to
Go. Yep,
grow, and it's like it's hard to grow more than one thing at a time. Um,
sure.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
So um, it just kind of came to pass where it's like, okay, we have an opportunity. We have a handful of clients that are like ready. They want us to do this for them. So like we're kind of dumb to not do it, right?
yeah,
Plus we have built-in clients. We have a built-in list that would be a good fit, and all this other stuff. And
sure.
so um, we started this process of launching this, I want to say in February or March.
Okay,
Um, but you know, we've done it the right way, and it's gonna be great. But we literally haven't even finished launching the website yet, which is
okay.
saying something for a couple website developers, right? You know,
Right.
life gets in the way though. This is
Yes.
like what happens when you actually have clients that want their work done first. So
Yes, but and
anyway,
so
all that to
don't
say,
just be sure not to get caught up in that whole "it needs to be perfect" thing.
no, in
Just
fact,
get
so
it up.
this is a great example. My new, I don't know, take on launches is sell it before you make it, right? So,
Mhm.
um, creating a way to get people to express interest before you actually make the thing.
Right.
That we literally like that's kind of what we've been doing. We want to make sure we have the systems in place and everything. When we do, but we haven't officially launched the website or anything. We this week had two leads come in. We've put out three quotes, and we had another lead come in from one of those calls, and they're actually a lead for both businesses. So, like mind blowing. I know we went into 2025 talking about like we feel good about 2025, right?
Right.
I can tell you from what I'm seeing, um, because I feel like marketing has always been on the leading edge of where the market is going, where the economy is going. I'm
Right.
feeling really good about where things are going because business is really picking up.
Okay.
I can't tell you the last time I had 2 sales calls in one day. It's been a
Okay.
while. So, um, and I haven't put out 3 quotes in 24 hours in
In a
years.
minute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally.
unless I put it off, um, and just
Right.
tried to batch them. But so it's been really exciting. Um, I'm ecstatic to see. I'm really excited to see what it's going to do because what we're not doing. Okay, let me just kind of back up and give you a bigger picture of what
Okay.
Looky is. What it is not is just we want to run someone to run our social media for us, right?
Okay.
Um, basically, we can we offer that, and it's a really low price point, but that's really not the crux of what we're trying to do.
Okay.
For me, everything comes back to lead generation, right? And you know me, I'm
Okay.
not a big fan of advertising
Right.
unless you have your systems in place, your funnels in place, your nurturing process in place, where
Right.
then you can turn on your advertising to feed that system, right? But so
Right.
many people just skip past that. So, and they just spend money on advertising, they waste it.
If I hear, and you know me, I love analogies. If I hear you correctly, you don't like watering the flower bed until you've amended the soil, planted the seeds, like done all of the prep work to where watering makes sense. You're not just wetting the dirt.
Yes. Basically. I mean, I
Yeah.
can I can draw you and I can show you a picture of what I believe like the problem is and what people try to do and what they actually should do. You want to see?
Let's see it. If you've got it.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, let's see.
I think pictures are
Let's
worth
see 2,000 words.
at least a couple hundred words at the very least.
Okay, let's see. Trying to get my stuff to connect here. Okay. Let's go over here and all right. So here's my new digital whiteboarding system we're using.
Yep.
There might be a little bit of a delay. We'll see how it works out. So um basically I view business and like your business, a business, whatever,
Okay.
marketing and advertising like this. And I've this thing has gone through many iterations, but essentially I think of like a pyramid or a triangle. And eventually it will catch up. Come on. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then I look at it and I go, okay, there's three levels to this thing. And each one represents a layer. So, like all
Okay.
this stuff at the bottom, that is having a great product, a great service, having great customer service. It's R&D. It's what separates you from any other business, any other Me Too business.
Okay.
The stuff in the middle is really what I do. It's setting up the systems. It's nurturing leads. It's framing your story about your brand in a way that people care about it. It's the how we frame that meaningful difference, that unique selling proposition, right?
Okay.
And if you don't do that part, then you shouldn't do this top part, which is advertising. The tip of it is the advertising,
Yeah.
and that's what comes last. It's also, if you look at it from a resource standpoint, the stuff on the bottom, that foundation is
Yep.
broad. It has the most area. Like think of it like surface area, right? There's more
Right.
volume there. So there's more time and resources that go into that. And the least amount of time and resources go into advertising. But so many people try to take this thing. Let me see if I can be super clever here. They try to take this thing and can I rotate this? Can I rotate it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can't. But let's say they take it and they try to turn it upside down
Yeah.
and they try to put all of their
All
time and money in
advertising.
advertising, right? But they're not paying attention and maybe they even skip the stuff in the middle. Um, and that's just not gonna it doesn't give you a firm foundation, right?
Right.
And you're just gonna pour money into this thing and I mean, I could go time and time again. I could tell you stories about people that just try to pump money into AdWords or pump money into Facebook or whatever without focusing on their systems. And so all of that's basically to give you a framework of what I believe, marketing and advertising should be, right? So talking about Looky, we run ads. We can run ads. But we manage your social media, right?
Okay.
And we can manage social media ads. But
Okay.
neither one should be done unless you have a system in place to gather leads, right? So if you're posting
Right.
stuff online, you should have a reason for people to follow your socials because you're providing information, or a link in your profile that takes them to a landing page on your website, at least, if nothing else. And especially
Okay.
once you start spending money and I would not say spend money to promote your post, spend money to go after targeted leads. So let's say you have a product that is engineered towards safety, right? It's a different kind of mask or a different kind of helmet that would help in industrial type platforms, right? So we go on LinkedIn, Facebook, those are probably going to be the best places. And we target safety professionals. We target
Right.
people that are in upper management of larger companies
Right.
instead of just posting it and be like, hey, people like it.
Right.
But again, what are they doing if they click on your ad? What are they doing if they see your post? We're taking them and sending them to a landing page or a couple because we're going to A B split test it and we're gathering their information. We're going to give them some form of lead magnet. I swear this is not rocket science and it sounds so simple that I don't even feel like I should be saying it, right? But we give them some kind of lead magnet in exchange for their email. What we know at this point, and I feel like we maybe have talked about this in the last
Right.
few episodes, someone values their email at about $20, like unique USD, right? US dollars. So
Right.
if what you're giving them isn't perceived to have the value of $20 or more, they're not going to give you their email address.
Right.
Or they're going to be like you, and they're going to give you some spam email address where all their junk goes to.
Oh my gosh. Have we talked about that yet? But
You and
yeah,
I have, but I think you need to show that. Anyway, my whole point is
sure.
that's the crux of Lookie, not that we're just going to manage your ads. You can pay us to create your social content, do your social targeted ads, that kind of thing. It's about we're
Right.
actually doing that inside of a strategy that will generate leads that will increase sales. So
Sure.
that's the idea. But yeah, so it's at its basic form, it is social media management.
Right.
And then it's also content creation on top of social media management. And then at its highest level, it's targeted ads on top of all that. So
Okay.
that was a lot of talking and I'm
It
tired.
was.
So talk to
It's
us about your junk
interesting.
mail system.
Oh, okay. So I'll give it to you real quick. I figured out not too long ago, or a little bit, a couple years ago, everything needs a ding email. And every time you give it your email, so I'll talk to you about two things. Let's assume that you have a Gmail.
Yes.
Let's just go with that. So, assuming you have a Gmail, because you're probably not giving away your professional email address anywhere, because that's for internal stuff. And so,
Right.
but when you're looking at something and you go, oh, well, maybe I'll give them my personal email, which would be your Gmail. If you want to know if they're selling your stuff, you figure out who they are. Let's say you're going to something 3M and it's 3M. What you do is you put in your email address, whatever your name is, whatever your, fast kid 21, and
Yeah.
then you put the plus sign 3M at gmail.com. So whatever your email address is, put a plus sign and then whatever they are, whoever they are. The
Okay.
interesting thing is I've done this multiple times. I put it in plus what it is, and then I find out there's 5, 6, 8 other people now start sending me emails. The great thing is nobody pays attention to the plus and takes it off.
Right.
They just copy paste whatever email they picked out, whatever they got.
Right.
So now you can see, oh, I'm now getting through, my email address plus 3M from Studebaker, from Lance something, from,
Right.
and you can see exactly who they sold it to and where they got it from.
That's awesome. So
What's interesting is
it's
then you
your
can go
at
in and,
whatever's before the
oh,
at, then you do plus whatever you want it, whatever the tag is.
yes,
Okay, then the at, then your normal
then
at.
at gmail.com or whatever.
Okay.
And so that plus allows it to skip right through. It works for Gmail. I don't know about anybody else. Second, what we've done is we took our name for our email address and we put deals at the end. So
Okay.
for it's like our last name, deals at gmail.com. Now that doesn't sound like much, but everywhere we go, we're like, oh, and they're like, oh, what's your email address? And we're like, oh yeah, it's this deals at gmail.com. And they're, oh, you got your own business? I'm like, yep. Your own business, right? Like just put the email address in.
Oh my
Now, the
gosh.
beauty of that is because we now have all of our potential salesy emails all going to one email, when they send coupons or discounts or whatever, we simply go into that email address and then we type in whatever store, whatever brand, whatever thing, whatever
Okay.
haircut place, whatever it is up at the top. We hit enter. And now all their latest stuff comes up. We go, oh, we do have a coupon for that, and we take it.
That's awesome.
So it makes it so convenient, makes it so easy. And we don't have to then go into our regular email and be like, God, I'm so sick of getting clip cuts or whatever freaking
Right.
emails. They're sending 3 a month. I don't want that. Because as soon as you opt out, unsubscribe, or go away, they stop sending you the coupons.
Right.
And it's like, well, I still want a haircut for $10 instead of for 25. Like, I want the $10 coupon. Because if I'm taking my kid in to get a haircut, right? You don't want to spend $25 to get a kid a haircut.
Right. Right.
So $10, perfect. So you get one of those like every 45 days. Perfect. But you only get it if you stay subscribed. Well, I don't want all those, because they'll send you 10 other emails, not the
Right.
coupon email, because
Right.
they're trying to say, buy, shampoo, buy this, buy our subscription haircut service, blah, blah, blah. I don't want all that crap in my regular email, but as soon as I unsubscribe, I stop getting the discounts.
Yeah.
I want the discount. So we just leave it in the what we call our junk email. We have a junk email address, and we just use that one, and it works. The beauty of that is when we need access to that or whatever, we still have it. We can still go there. But we're not bombarded with a bunch of extra emails that's junk
Right.
in our regular email address.
Right.
So it's a nice way of still using what you want and whatever. The great thing is too, you can take your something deals at whatever Gmail and still put plus Target,
Right. Right.
plus Walmart, plus something. And then when you're searching, you can easily go in and look. But then you can also see, did Walmart, did Target, did Capcom, did whatever sell my information, because now I'm getting a whole bunch of other stuff from that.
I do have one question.
Yes.
When you do that plus, thing, plus in the whatever tag you want to use,
Huh?
does it organize that stuff into a folder, or how does it come
And
through?
you just make a filter, and you can organize it all into separate folders.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of
We
sense.
just leave it in a main folder, and once a
Sure.
day we go in and click all open, all
Okay.
open. So then we stay active on all of those, because every day we get 150 emails. So you just
Ugh.
all open,
Yeah. Yeah.
check all open, read or whatever. We don't actually need to read it because it doesn't really matter. But I want to keep those all active and open because I want to stay on their list so I continue to get the
Sure.
discounts. We may only use a discount once a year or once every 6 months, but when it's there, I want to have it and be able to use it.
I love it.
It's kind of
I
a cheat
especially
code.
love being able to track, like, if your email was sold. That's a really easy
Oh
way.
my God. I've contacted companies before and said, I caught you distributing my email address that you said you weren't going to. What are you going to do to make it right? And they'll send me discounts and coupons and, oh, we're so sorry. Like
Oh my
they'll send me free products sometimes. Like, it is insane when you call them out on the thing they said they weren't going to do, and now they are doing it. And you go, you better make it right or I'm going to blast you. Then they're
Oh
like,
my
oh,
gosh.
okay. And they usually at least try to make it right.
Yeah. 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 Well, I think that's brilliant. I'll keep now. I have to look at.
But that way
all
you can
this.
hold people accountable for what they
Yeah.
say they're going to be doing.
Right. Well, I can tell you, I've never
Trust me, the
stolen
reason that
emails.
I'm
Never sold
saying
emails.
this out is because I've told people, if you give me your email address, I promise, number one, never to spam you, and number two, never to share it with anyone. You
Right.
can put your email plus Aaron Gerald's and send it to me, and I will only ever, I tell you that I send a monthly newsletter. If you're on my newsletter list, it's been about once a year, twice a year, because
Right.
only when I find something that I think this is so valuable, I'll interrupt your email. I'll send this to you, because if you gave me a real legitimate email, I want you to have it.
Yeah.
And I want you to see it and to go, this is good stuff. This makes sense. And then open it and read it. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to send you something where you go, man, that dude's always sending me shit or sending
Right.
me crap I don't need, and then just
Right.
deleting it. I don't want to be that guy.
No. Who has
So
time for that? That's
yeah,
that's why I always
when
tell
you
people.
see it pop up, you'll never see it pop up with yours plus Aaron Gerald as like coming in, because
Yeah.
I did not share it with anyone. I refuse.
Yeah. I tell people when they are signing up. So specifically, like roast of the week. We have a lot of
Mhm.
people that signed up for uh, we would give away a free bag every month, kind of thing. And it's like,
Right.
I promise not to spam you because I don't have time or energy. I have
Right.
no, like, I just have no interest.
Right.
I'm just barely functional at email, like,
Yeah.
I am a lot better than I used to be,
I'll
but
tell you, I am anxious to see when you guys say, "Oh my gosh, we found the system. This is the duplicatable system for this kind of people. This is the email sequence we would suggest using." I intend to use Looky for that because then I know, there's a series of 10 or 20 or 15 or
right,
however many over so many months or whatever that are going to go out and be of the highest quality where it's like, this only makes sense because you got the previous email.
right.
This is so following these steps. If you at any time you can eject, but only stay on it while you're receiving that benefit. I can't wait to use that because for me to try and come up with stuff in my head, we've had this discussion. It's
Yeah,
really hard to be where you are and then imagine back where they are and then go, what do you need to know all the way along the way without making any assumptions about what I think you ought to know by this point?
right.
It's
That's
so
actually one of
hard.
the hardest things about just being in business, right? Because
Yeah.
you're the expert in the thing you do, and it's like just like what I was saying when I was explaining, like, here's how we're gonna nurture leads and how we have a lead magnet and all that stuff. To me, that's so incredibly basic that it's almost embarrassing to talk about, but for someone that doesn't know, they don't know.
I was like, two things from what you just said right there flagged me. Number one, I feel like yes, and at the same time, absolutely not, brother. And the reason I say yes is because you're looking at it from them being the expert, and you're like, from where I stand and from where I see you, I now know how to lead people to you.
Right.
However, you say that, and then you're like, of course, when we need to do that for our business, we're standing over here and not
Right.
over here. It's almost like we need to hire over here to do the thing that we can help other people do over and over
Yeah.
because our perspective
We
shifts.
all
And
need
so
insight.
it's
Yeah,
so
we
hard
all
to
need
shift that
outside
perspective.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, honestly, like that's I mean,
This is why it took you till now to do the mission statement.
that's exactly it, right? But
Yeah.
it also like it doesn't matter what the curriculum is, right? My
Right.
curriculum, duct tape marketing, monopolize your marketplace, like whatever the curriculum is, it doesn't matter. It's what you do with it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
you could
Absolutely.
literally hand me someone else's curriculum. It could be I don't know, a textbook. You're going to get different results walking through
Yeah.
it with me than if you walk through it alone. I'm going to
Right.
get different results walking it through it with someone else than if I did it alone, right? Because
Right.
it's all about perspective and bringing
Right.
experience and that kind of stuff to it. So, I don't think the magic is in the curriculum. I think the magic is when you're bringing two or more heads together to come up with ideas. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a completely
Man,
different
I'll
thing.
tell you, I've had to talk to so many of my clients this week about that exact thing. And it's because the how and the what don't matter.
Right.
That's the curriculum. It really
Right.
doesn't
Right.
matter. It's the why.
Yep.
If the why is big enough and important enough and meaningful enough, the
Yeah.
how doesn't matter. You'll do whatever you need to get to the why. And
Right.
so I ask people all the time, like you said, you wanted to start getting into shape and you want to go to the gym. Why do you want to go to the
Right.
gym? Well, so I feel better. I'm like, don't even buy a membership. Don't even buy a set of weights to keep it a 5 pounder weight set to keep at your house. Just don't because you're not going to do it. And now if somebody tells me because I went to the doctor, they said my cholesterol's through the roof, or I've got pre-onset diabetes, and if I don't start exercising, I'm going to lose my feet. I'm like, oh my God, build yourself a gym at the house or go get the best
Right.
membership ever because you now have a why that is so
Yeah.
big. You will wake up in the morning and get yourself there.
That's it.
I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to. That is your motivation. Your motivation is the why. And they're like, I know, but I need to create the habit. Great. Make enough decisions to create the habit.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get up in the morning, you have to decide to get up enough times that you forget you had to decide and you just do it.
Right.
Like a habit is only a habit when you no longer think about it.
Right.
But it only becomes that because you've done it long enough that you've forgotten to think about it.
Yeah. And
And if
motivation will only get you so far because there are days you aren't motivated.
right,
If your why is strong enough, you'll develop the discipline from that habit. The
correct.
discipline to
To
still
do
do
it.
it even though you don't want to,
If the why is big enough, you no longer decide whether or not you want to get up. You
right?
already know
Have
you
to.
need to
Yeah.
get up and you do it. So yeah, it's really about finding your why, helping other people find their why, and keeping that at the forefront of their attention.
Yeah. I don't know
So
that we could say anything else today to make this like better.
great episode.
I feel like we're already, starting to live up to that, kind of lofty, stuff that we went over earlier,
Yeah. We're
but
not starting to live up to it. We're stepping into it
stepping into it. There
intentionally.
you go.
Like, I don't need to show we're a mile in. No, we're just right now. We just crossed the line, but our feet are in it. We're in it now to win it. We started the race.
It's
I'm
amazing what a
finished.
couple weeks off will do.
Yeah. Well, it helps you refocus and figure out
Yeah.
what's important.
Yeah. That's it.
So anyway, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited for the after hours official release, like on the new platform.
Yeah.
And then so anyway, apologies to anybody who's already a part of the Patreon. You're out.
Yeah. Well, we'll open it up. Yeah. You no longer have to pay for it.
We're gonna move over. And I think we do have a plan for still creating a membership for anybody that wants to support us. But I think we're probably gonna do it through, I think we talked about this before, through YouTube itself. We'll create a membership through YouTube and you can support us through there. And the beauty of that is too, we're gonna have specific just when we get to the monetization stage, because we have to get to that partnership stage on there. But there will be memberships we can do. And then there's thank yous. So when people watch our stuff and they want to say thank you, they can just send a one-time things. So there's going to be a bunch of different options that can help support our endeavor here. And we love support. Understand, support doesn't just mean money.
Right.
Support means contact. Support means input.
Engagement.
Support means engagement. Like, become a part of the movement. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I want to let's push a little bit promo for the group again, like the Facebook group.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun when people were really getting into that and we were doing it. Haven't spent much time on there.
We haven't really promoted
on the
it.
platform,
Talked about
honestly,
it
on the entire platform.
Months.
It's been a bit.
But that is probably the best way to interact with us, outside of just whatever social you're on that
right.
That
I mean, one of the easiest ways is a wonderful review, a thumbs up or whatever through on Apple Podcasts or whatever. Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast from. But hit us up.
Yeah.
Ask a question, make a statement.
Yeah. And if you like this new direction, think of us fondly and speak of us often, right? Tell your friends.
Yeah.
And I guess until next week,
mind your business.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Gerals and me, CJ Jolliffe. If you want to find out more about us or when we're going live or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.